Good afternoon and welcome to today's celebration in honor of Enfield's Teacher of the Year. Yay! Mr. Armando Ramos. So my name is Stephanie and I am speaking for Maureen today because her voice is not pretty and there could be some coughing that might occur, so you got me instead. But she is the president of Alpha Delta Kappa, our chapter here in Enfield, and we have sponsored this event. So thank you to all the ladies. So first I would like to welcome Mr. Ramos and his family. So thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. We're glad your game is tonight so that you could actually make it. I'd also like to take a few moments to recognize some special guests we have in the audience today. And I gotta make sure I don't leave anybody out. So first of all, from our central office, are you guys all kind of in the same area there? I'd like to welcome Mr. Chris Drezick, our superintendent. Ooh, this moves. Mr. Andy Longy, long time away from Enfield High, but he's the deputy superintendent. I was like, deputy? Wouldn't it be cool, though, if you could wear one? That'd be so fun. We have Mr. Guy Barrasso with us, who is our Chief Education Technology Officer. We have Miss Maureen Jewell, our Director of HR. Mr. Mark Zuby, who you'll be hearing from later, is our Physical Education Coordinator. And Miss Altressa Cox-Blackwell, who is our Director of Educational Equity. So thank you to all of you for coming. And also I'd like to thank Miss Clark and our janitorial staff here for letting us host this event. So, you are not. You don't have to clean up, I promise. But we're going to thank them too because we're going to need them later on. But Miss Clark is our principal, not part of our janitorial staff. All right. So, there are a number of former Enfield Teachers of the Year in the audience, I believe. And if you could, at this time, could we stand? Anybody who has received this honor in the past? Yes. All right. Thank you for all that you've done in the past. And I'd like to call up now Miss Holly Simmons, Mrs. Holly Simmons, who's going to give you a brief history of our Alpha Delta Kappa chapter. Oh, too many words.
Thanks.
So thanks, Holly. Hello, good afternoon. These are new. Okay. Thanks, Maureen.
My name's Holly Simmons. I'm immediate past president of Kappa Chapter and Teacher of the Year chairperson this year. And I'm here to share a little bit about our organization with you. One way we celebrate it is to host the Teacher of the Year reception. Alpha Delta Kappa is an international honorary organization of women educators, and we're dedicated to educational excellence, altruism, and world understanding. Alpha Delta Kappa was founded in 1947, and now it has more than 1,400 chapters worldwide, and locally our chapter is known as Kappa Chapter. Our local membership awards annual scholarships to students at Asnuntuck Community College, Bay Path University, and Enfield High School every year. We also volunteer with and donate to a number of programs, local and national, including Enfield Food Shelf, Enfield's First Readers Program, Loaves and Fishes, the ERFC After School Program, the Enfield Public Library, the Prudence Crandall Center, Girls on the Run, Hawkwings Books on the Move, Days for Girls, Hartford Bags of Hope, Toys for Joy, Alex's Lemonade Stand, and the Anna Grace Project, among actually many other programs that we support and work with throughout the year. If you ever have any ideas for us to add to our altruistic program, you can always reach out to me or to Stephanie, and we love gathering new ideas for ways to help in our community and in our state. The month of October has been designated Founders Month for Alpha Delta Kappa, and one way, as I said, we celebrate is to honor an outstanding leader in education. And today we're very, very excited to honor Enfield's Teacher of the Year, Armando Ramos. Before we hear from Armando, we have to hear a few words from Chris Drezick. No, That says we have a few words from our esteemed superintendent, Chris Dresden.
The custodian.
Here he is.
Friends like this, you know what? You said brief. Now you're all gonna have to buckle up. You left your notes up here. You shouldn't have done that. Okay. So hi everyone. Obviously Armando's a man. I know you hate this, so I may steal a minute of his. I know Stephanie told me to be brief, but so a couple of things I've thought of as I was thinking about this that made me actually decide I was going to share something. But contrary to popular belief, I don't get a lot of perks in my job, unlike what people say on Facebook. But one of the perks is every spring I get a call from Dave Akabuchi, who said, you know, the committee's meeting, right? And then shortly after that, I'll get the infamous text. And it's kind of like when they pick a new pope, you wait for the white smoke. I get the text from Akabuchi that just simply says, a Teacher of the Year has been selected. And I'll reply back and be like, would you care to share? And then the phone rings, like, this is a secure line, like, this is a big deal. But when Dave finally called me and told me that it was Armando was selected as a Teacher of the Year, honest to goodness, you can ask Dave this, my response was, what the hell took you so long? And I mean that because, and I'm sorry, Maureen and I weren't together, but we got the same thing. So if I start coughing, it's her fault. You're just going to blame Maureen. But one of the things that, the other perk of this job, because as I was sharing with Dave, I'm like, clearly you guys got it right for a number of reasons. But one of the other perks that we get in this job is when we do get to finally announce when they win, we get to surprise the candidate and go into their classroom and do this. You know, you got balloons out of the deal, but you know, I'm sure you would rather have us all not be there when we did it. But that's one of the fun things. But I said to Dave when he had called me to tell me it was Armando, I said, do me a favor, reach out to Aaron or Doobie and find out which period he has unified. I said, because that's when we're going in. Because that's I think where Armando would appreciate it the most. So we came over, we introduced him, the kids went nuts. You know, we handed him his award. A couple of us, we actually let Aaron speak at that one as opposed to today because she's not on the agenda. But we just said a couple of brief words to Armando, and then at that point, Armando's standing there with his award in his hand, and he realized I probably have to say a few things. So he went through his list, you know, obviously as humble as he is, thanking everybody else for getting him here and all the help we got along the way. And then Armando started to talk about his kids, who were in the room still really excited. And I swear there was no prompting, we didn't warn the kids beforehand, but as Armando started talking about his kids, the words got a little bit harder to come out of his mouth, being polite. And as he was doing that, a bunch of hands in the classroom started to go up. And instinctively, the kids just started to raise their hand, and Armando, as he is, interrupted what he was doing and asked the kids to share what was on their mind. And each kid by kid started telling us about why they loved Mr. Ramos and why he was their favorite teacher. And I swear if these kids had like a group chat going on, it would have been, hey, the big guy's in trouble, we got to bail him out. He's not going to get through this speech. But this is a friendly room. So those are two of the perks that we get in this job. And to be honest, I had to leave that day to go to a meeting at central office. So as I was leaving in the parking lot, all of you are either former teachers or your families of teachers, so we're all in the same family. We've all had days where it's like things just didn't go well. But then every now and then we get that day, right? That day where you remind yourself, all right, this is what I'm doing this for. Well, that was one of the days. So as I'm driving back to the office and I'm like, all right, I got a meeting I don't want to sit through, but I'm sitting there reflecting on what I just experienced, and I'm like, you know what? No one's ruining my joy today. Today was a good day. So I started thinking about my experience and hearing the kids talk about Armando and how much they love him and the experience they have with him. You know, truth be told, my experience with Armando was more so rooted and unified because I'm not observing the classroom all the time. And I was thinking about a time, a memory that I had that has stuck with me for well beyond just the recent years that and this actually goes back to pre-COVID. But years ago, we hosted a unified basketball tournament here. And I'm sure you remember it because some of you who haven't been to a unified event, I highly recommend going. You want to talk about pure joy. So Andy and I were sitting, and this was pre-COVID, so there was a lot of people in the gym. And we're sitting about mid-court, and our Enfield kids come on, and I won't say the student's name because the student's still with us, but a lot of you will know who I'm talking about. So one of our kids gets the ball under the hoop, and he's about the right side of the hoop. And you can hear Armando saying from the bench, go ahead, take the shot, buddy. So the kid goes to take the shot, and the kid doesn't even hit the top of the rim, man. He literally hits the bottom of the rim, and the ball comes right back to him. And instead of discouraging him, What does Armando say to him? Great rebound, buddy. Try it again. So meanwhile, the kid's on the right-hand side. Kid looks at Armando, gets okay to do it, goes up again. Boom, misses, same spot, comes right back to him. 5 or 6 times, and we keep hearing this from the audience, from the crowd saying, take another shot, buddy. Good rebound. Take it again, take it again. Finally, after like the 5th or the 6th time, we can hear Armando talking to the kid, and I hit to Andy, I'm like, I think maybe he's gonna tell him to pass it to somebody else or give somebody else a shot. He doesn't. He tells the kid, hey buddy, go to your spot. So the kid, again, he's on the right side of the hoop, takes the ball, takes a couple steps back, goes in front of the basket. Now, truth be told, he totally traveled, but hey, the refs were giving it that day. You gotta take what you can get, right? Kid goes to his spot, looks at Armando, Armando tells him, take the shot, buddy. Boom, swish, nothing but net. Now, mind you, there's 100-something people in the audience. Everybody's watched this kid miss 6 or 7 times. Crowd's going nuts. Can't hear what Armando's telling the kid. But as the kid is running, puts his head down, runs back to go play defense on the other side of the court, stops at midcourt right in front of the two of us, looks at the crowd and says, thank you. Runs back and plays defense. So that doesn't happen instinctively. It didn't happen because, you know, Armando's like, let's try another spot. And as I'm thinking, I should be talking in front of the mic here. You know, sorry, Alex. If I remember that 5 years ago, and he can't remember what he had for breakfast, but he remembers that from 5 years ago, you think this kid remembers his moment? You think that kid's family remembers that moment? And that moment happened because of him. And it wasn't instinct to say, hey, let's try another spot. He knew, because he worked with that kid, because he coached that kid, because he spent tireless hours working with it. He knows his kid. He believed that his kid, I'm going to put him in the spot where I know he won't miss. And that kid got his moment, and a standing ovation, and a thank you from him for us cheering for him, all because his coach and his teacher put him in the spot. So it's no secret that the world we live in now, there's a lot of opinions out there, and I'm saying this to a group of primarily educators. We've all heard it. We all know what's out there. The irony is not lost on me that we're having a meeting in a public school library right now. Anybody heard any good library jokes lately? We hear it all the time. The profession's under fire. Everybody wants to tell you what you can teach. Everybody wants to tell you what you can't teach. Everybody wants to tell you how you can teach it. Everybody's going to tell you what your motivation is for teaching certain things. Everybody's telling you, especially when we talk about special education. You get it on both sides. We don't offer enough services for special education. We spend too much money on special education. All of that noise, that's still going on. But in the middle of it, we have Armando, who can give a damn about what the rest of the world is saying or caring, because he just wants to make sure that his kids get their moment. So this award, and I apologize for chewing gum, because I will start coughing if I don't. My wife yells at me all the time on Tuesday nights, like, stop chewing your gum. This award is not just about recognition, it's about representation. It's recognizing a great teacher, but it's representing all of us and representing the best of who we are. So as you go across that stage with me in a couple of weeks, you have to remember 2 things. One, we couldn't have a better representative for who the best of who we are in you. And 2, whoever these yahoos are at the state who make the decision on the big awards clearly have no idea what the hell they're doing, because you should be going to Washington with me, just like they screwed Amber over last year. So this is well-deserved, buddy. Sorry I went a little over my time, but if that stayed with me so long, I thought it was important to share, because I know you won't brag about yourself. So congratulations, well-deserved.
Thank you, Mr. Drezek. Next up, I'd like to have Mr. Mark Doobie come on up, one of my favorite former teachers. Thank you, Mr. Doobie. And congratulations, Mr. Ramos. If I could have predicted, I had nominated Mr. Ramos in 2018. If I only predicted Powerball numbers like this, we could all retire.
That's
so
right.
Well-deserved, and you do such magical, magical things in that gym, and it's something that everyone should witness. So congratulations to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming. I've got some former teachers here, Mrs. Michaels, and Mrs. Gray, I made it. I made it over here. Mr. Brassa too, sorry, guy. Man, what a day, what a moment, and a lot of years that Armando and I have spent together leading up to this well-deserved time. You know, winning awards is a funny thing. It's like, it's something that you dream of, to win a gold medal or, you know, whatever it is that you want to achieve. And it's actually, when you get there, it's not that easy. When you win an award, all of a sudden people have opinions about you that you didn't know existed. And to be honest, this is the first time I've been back since I was lucky enough to win the award. And I've learned a lot about myself in all those years. And I've embraced my own personal achievement, right? Like I wasn't supposed to make it very far, and I got hired. And I called my mom, and she was quiet on the phone for maybe 60 seconds, and then I could hear sobs. Because she was crying. She was relieved that I would have a job and have a life, you know? And then she said, you know, like, I think on that phone call, she's like, you're gonna make it. You know, you had Mr. Perry, and you're gonna be Teacher of the Year someday. I'm like, Mom, just back up. I didn't even... I haven't even started my career yet, and it was about 5 years later that all kind of happened, and I made my mom proud. And I'm not here to talk about myself, but I wanted to just give you some insight of what it's like to be a teacher, and then what it's like to be a recognized teacher. And so I want us to think about Armando, and I want us to pour a lot of love into him, and I want us to pour a lot of love into anybody that gets an award like this. Life is a lot about affirmation. And I think some of us think in affirmation, but we don't deliver them enough. So I don't know who in your life might need an affirmation today, but maybe give it to them, right? We think in affirmation, but we don't deliver them enough. So that's my challenge here before I talk about Armando for a couple minutes. Let's deliver affirmation. So I'm going to deliver some affirmations for you, my friend. And I want to start, first of all, with Armando the friend. See, every great teacher is a great friend. And I sat next to this guy here for a long time here at Enfield High, and then Fermi when he was doing both schools. And I cannot tell you how valuable that friendship was for me. Teaching is a tough business, and you have to be able to bounce ideas off people, and you have to be able to collaborate, you have to be able to laugh, you have to be able to cry, you have to be able to be angry behind a closed door so that you can go out there and be sane in front of little kids. And Armando was that person for me, and it didn't ever seem like he got too sick of it. Maybe he did, but I just kept going. And thank God for him. Like, what a gentle, understanding, soft, smart soul. And his best quality is his ability to laugh at just the moment where you're not ready to laugh, right? Like, I'm not good at laughing. And I'll tell him something I'm really mad about, and he just laughs. And it's just the right recipe to fix what's ailing you, And I so appreciated that about him. And then, this unified sports thing. Like, Chris said it. If you haven't seen that or been near that, man, just go. Go for a couple minutes. So Armando was an unbelievably high-level athlete. He's an incredible wrestler and football player and coach. And I played some sports, and I love sports. But, your idea of sports as an athlete is really, I don't know what your idea of it is, but I know what mine is. It's war, right? It's kill or be killed. It's win the game. It's your coach telling you, if you don't play well today, I'm going to sit you, and that kid's going to play, right? It's terror. As a coach, you win the game. You're just relieved you didn't lose, right? And when you lose, you're just thinking about trying to win. It's really a sick cycle. Sports are torture. Why do we do it? I don't know. I learned why we do it the moment I got involved with unified sports with Armando. That taught me everything sports has to offer the world. My God, did I ever need that. It let me let my hair down. It let me cheer for Glastonbury's kids or, say good job to that kid. I didn't care who put the ball in the bucket. I didn't care that we missed it 100 times, right? The spirit of sport is that we get to go play. We get to do it together. And Armando is the reason why this program went from not existing to being a state champion. Armando, come train, bring your kids. The sweatshirts, walking during COVID, being a state champion by 4 miles, and I swear we told the truth about that. I know some people, there's some controversy there, but it's all.
We did get audited by the state.
We got audited. So I said it wasn't about winning, but then they made sure we told the truth.
We won, though.
We won. We won.
Standard.
But it all happened because of the passion of Armando. And when Armando got this award, we went back and forth, and I sent him a message, and I'm going to share one thing I wrote in that message. You're the guy who wants this the least, but that's what makes you deserve it the most. You were never fishing for any of this scene here. You weren't looking for a newspaper article. You weren't looking for this award. We'd have no bonus for you, so don't, But he wasn't looking for that. He was in it because he loves the kids, and he loves sports, and he loves the idea behind what Unified Sports is. So I just want to say on behalf of me, I could not imagine a better group of people to work with than the PE staff. My old boss is here, some of my old colleagues who inspired me. When I sat in that chair to go in front of that Teacher of the Year community, you told me, you said, just go be yourself, go be Mark Doobie. And I'm going to keep trying to do that every day. So I make you proud, my good buddy. So I make my department proud. So I make my principal proud. So I make my superintendent proud. I think about my teachers every day that I had and put up with me. But we're in this game for people. And Armando leads the way for being in this game for people. So let's give it up one more time for Armando. You're up here.
Whew. All right, I'm opening this up like I actually have a speech, but having Mark up here saying such nice words, it brought me back to when we first started our Unified team. And back then it was a fairly small team, and we were doing basketball. But we had actually a pretty competitive group, so Unified is by levels, and we entered the tournament at the level 1, and we worked hard. We practiced for a long time, and we were getting to know each other, and we had a really interesting team, a lot of characters. We had this one, I'll change the name, but we'll use Sean for today. We had one of our athletes was Sean, and Sean was a curmudgeon. He was just grumpy. I think they probably forced him to be in Unified, to tell you the truth. I don't think he wanted any part of it, but he did it, and he stuck it out, but he was going to be grumpy. And that's fine. He participated, and all the kids loved him, but he was going to let you know that he was grumpy. So we go to the tournament, and everyone is excited. The energy is high level, and we're getting everybody in the game. And sure enough, we win our first game, and by a pretty good amount. And the kids are excited. We didn't know what was going to happen, so we played the second game, and same thing. And then we're looking at the schedule, and we're playing the next team. And the next team, we're watching them, and they're actually pretty tough. So we're like, well, all right, this is going to be like the finals and the championship game, and we'll see what happens. I'm coaching them up, and it's not about winning. We're here to have fun, and if we win, let us be brave and all that. So sure enough, it's competitive, and it's getting intense. And me and Coach Doobie over here, we're actually really getting into it. Probably more than I want to admit for Unified. So the game is now, I think we're down by 1. And the way that it works is our athletes can score, our partners can score, but it has to even off with athletes and partners. So we needed an athlete to score the last basket. We were down to our last possession. There's about 10 seconds on the clock. So our guy dribbles down, and sure enough, Sean is right in front, open, and we pass him the ball, and it's like at the buzzer, 3, and he shoots it. Swish. We go in, we win the game at the buzzer. We went crazy. We acted like we just won, the NBA Finals. So it was a real moment. It was super exciting. And so we get medals and we get our snacks and we're walking off. Everyone is like walking chest proud. And our point guard who passed the ball, another character too, but real good partner. He goes, Sean, that was so good. You won this medal for us. You're the reason we won first place. We did this because of you. And Sean looks at him and he says, really? Then why did you get a medal too? And that was our first experience with Unified, with me and Mark. And I would say we were hooked. We were like, this is great. This is something that we love doing. It's definitely a labor of love. It's really easy getting all these awards when you get to coach like the Seans of the world, because I got great kids. I really do. It's definitely been a labor of love for sure. And just because of that, I've been really able to get my friends involved too. I couldn't have done it without you guys over here at the table. You guys are, there's so many people. Got Amy, who's also a coach, and Alex, who's coaching right now. The team, I got some amazing people, some support here at the school. Anytime I need help from administration, it's like, what can we do for you guys? Thank you guys so much. I emailed Chris, and he's at the event the next day. This has really been a team effort. Bree, you did so much as well to get this program to where it is. Definitely would never have been to where we are now because of your efforts. There's so many people here, that I'd love to thank. And, and my family. My wife's a teacher coach, and she's 1,000 times better than me. So thank you, honey. She's inspired me for sure. And my daughter, I just want her not to make fun of me, so I work hard. So hopefully she won't give me a hard time when I pick her up tomorrow from school. Maybe she'll be impressed. Probably not, though. Probably not. But it's been, like I said, it's been a total team effort. Again, I could go on. And I do want to thank Hall of Famer Johnny Silvestri. Johnny, thank you so much for coming today. All right.
Ramos, it.
Johnny is the man, and we still reminisce about all the good times that we had with Johnny on Unified to this day.
Yep.
And oh my God! Last but not least, the Alpha Delta Kappa chapter here. This is what you guys do is amazing work, and I'm so humbled to be in presence of such amazing teachers. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much. Oh, and if I missed anybody, I don't know. But listen, thank you all for coming. I can't believe you guys all came. Everybody, one and all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good job.
So on behalf of Alpha Delta Kappa, we'd like to present you with the Teacher of the Year plaque. It has every teacher listed from Mrs. Kirby in 1983 all the way to Armando Ramos in 2023. It hangs proudly in the school every year for the teachers, so welcome to the club.
Don't lose it. Don't lose it.